Hello and welcome everybody to episode 27 of the CreaLien Design podcast. My name is Eline and I'm coming to you as always from Rotterdam, where I live with my cat Job. You can find me online as CreaLien Design basically everywhere. I'm CreaLien Design on Etsy, where I sell my hand-dyed yarns. I'm CreaLien Design on Instagram and on Ravelry, and all of that and all the other things I talk about in today's episode are linked in the description box right down there. So today it's the 23rd of August 2020. We have had a major heat wave and I'm so glad it's over. I have all my windows closed for now and it's just lovely. It's not very hot, it's overcast, and I think it's going to rain any minute now, and I love it. I cannot stand the heat, so I'm really happy with this weather. Today I have like a lot of socks. A lot of socks, yeah. And then there's a lot of spinning. Yeah, that's it. It's socks and spinning, so I hope you're in for that. So let's get started, shall we? So first of all, I wanted to start with a sock that I was working on in my last episode, and I made some progress, and that's this sock. This is my self-striping sock yarn in the Disco Fever colorway. It's a bright neon rainbow and I love it. And the last time I showed it to you, I was here where this marker is. I had just put in the heel and I didn't do a lot of knitting because most of my time was spent spinning. But yeah, this is how far I got, and this one is living in my seal, and I don't know what this is called in English, but that's my yarn cozy and I like it. So yeah, a little bit of progress made on my Disco Fever sock. It's all about my self-striping socks. I have dyed a lot of new colorways, self-striping new colorways, and I like to have a sample to show in the picture so that you can actually know what it will look like when you knit it. So I cast on all those new colorways and then I'm working on other things because I was working on my boyfriend's birthday gift, which I cannot show you because he watches this podcast. So I will show it once it's gifted, and then I'll steal it back so that I can show it to you. But that took a lot of my time. And spinning, I've done so much spinning and it has taken over my life. So I've cast on all those socks and then I don't make a lot of progress on them because I've been doing other stuff. Anyway, also last week I showed you my let's start with this one first. My Halloween colorway, which is living in my polar bear yarn cozy. Anyway, that doesn't match, right? A polar bear on Halloween doesn't matter. I didn't make a lot of progress. This green marker is where I was the last time, and well, I did like two colors. I needed 2 colors, which is basically not worth talking about, but hey, I talked about it. Let's move on to the next one. A bit more interesting one. I also had my pool party socks on the needles, and those are living in these crazy psychedelic mushrooms yarn cozy. Oops. And this is where I am now. And that orange marker here, this one, is where it was the last time I showed it to you. So I've made a bit of progress. This is just a row count. I think this is row 60 or maybe 50. I have to count again because I haven't worked on these for 2 weeks or so, and yeah, I don't remember, but anyway, I'm nearly at the point of the heel. So this one has seen quite a bit of progress all the way from up here to where I am now. So then next, like I said, I had dyed a few new colorways, so I needed to sample those, right? So here we have, without a yarn cozy, is Raindrops on Roses. This is from the, well, it reminded me of Raindrops on Roses, but it also is from The Sound of Music, the song Raindrops on Roses and Whiskers on Kittens. I'm gonna stop there. I'm not gonna sing. You don't want to hear me sing. Anyway, that's the song Raindrops on Roses, and it knits up like this. I like this a lot. It's quite subtle. The colors are subtle, but I don't know. I find it really pretty. And I love the gold sparkle. You know what I always love with when I'm dyeing the Selena? When I'm dyeing with a reddish color, red dye, the gold always takes up some of that red dye. And then the gold in that section isn't really gold anymore, but it's more like rose gold. I don't know if I can show you, but I don't know if you're able to see that. Probably not. But the gold sparkle in here, in the red section, is not that gold anymore. It's more of a reddish gold. So yeah, that's my Raindrops on Roses. And then see all these socks, and then I dyed another new colorway, and for this one I already had the name before I dyed it. I just had this idea in my mind from what I wanted to dye, and I thought, yeah, let's call that one highlighted. And then I dyed it and I was like, yep, that's highlighted. So this is the cake. It's covered in Joop hair. And this is all the neons that you have in highlighters. So there's yellow, green, pink and orange. And they have black speckles that smear out a little bit. And that's the text that you have highlighted. And therefore the name highlighted. But I made quite a bit of progress on this sock. I was just going and going and going and going. Look at that. And this is not really showing up. This is really a very neon colorway. Look at the speckles. And another hair of Joop. Oh my word. Can't get it out. I must have knitted into the fabric. Anyway. See those speckles? And how they smear out a little bit? I just love it. And this one is past the heel point. This is where I'm going to put in my after tilt heel. Love it. Love it so much. I'm so excited about this one. That's probably why I made that much progress. This was knit in one evening. I just kept going and going and going, and I love it. Yep, really happy with that one. And then I did another new colorway. Like I said, I was on a new self-striping colorway cake. I had all these ideas and I couldn't dye because of the heat wave. Because, well, if it's 35 degrees Celsius inside my house, I'm not going to steam it up. It was already very humid outside and inside. And I wasn't going to stand above boiling pots of water, like, ugh, no thank you. So next up I have Hyacinth Bouquet. And I don't know if you get the reference. That's my cake's falling apart at the bottom. I don't know if you get the reference, but these colors reminded me very much of hyacinths, and hyacinths are my favorite flowers. I absolutely love the scent, but I was thinking hyacinth, well, just hyacinth was a bit boring, and I was like, hyacinth bucket, it's bouquet. I don't know if you get that. It was from the series called Keeping Up Appearances. In Dutch it's called Schone Schijn. So maybe for my Dutch viewers, you know it like that. Anyway, Hyacinth Bouquet. And this is how it's knitting up. I'm not that far with this one yet, but I think it's so pretty. It's so feminine. I love these soft colors. And again, on my gold sparkle base. I think it's so pretty, like I said. And you may think, huh, isn't that the same as what you showed us last? No, look, they're not the same. They are similar, but not the same. And this is going to be a pair for me. This is my pair. And I love these two together. I think they are similar but different. This one is showing up lighter than it actually is. It is a bit darker, but yeah. Really, really liking these. Really happy with them. Okay, so that was it for the knitting. Like I said, it really was a sock parade. Can't say anything else about it. Just only socks. But I have done a lot of spinning. So I don't know if you remember from last episode, I had this yellow Teeswater fibre that was on the bobbin. Well, I took it off the bobbin. I have a cake. I made a center pull cake, and this is ready to be plied. This is how I almost always ply. I wind the bobbins into a center pull ball, just spit splice them together and make one giant ball, and then I ply from one strand on the inside and one strand on the outside and ply those together. And this is what this looks like. Can you see? Look, because it's a longer staple length and the fiber is quite what's the right word? Stiff isn't really the word. But anyway, you can see that the cake isn't collapsing. But it stays open. Just like you would have with if you were knitting with linen or flax or anything. And that's just because it's this long staple. I think the colors are beautiful, and you can see a bit of the shine. It's really pretty. It's just not really soft, and I don't really know what to do with it once it's finished, but it's really pretty. This was Fibre from Artist Palette Yarns in the colorway Goldilocks. Like I said, it's Teeswater fiber. I just very recently did a swap with Juliet, the dyer behind Artist Palette Yarns. She's no longer in business, but she still had a lot of fiber left, and we did a swap. Oh my word, I love her fiber so much, and I'm even more inspired now to spin all that gorgeousness. So, okay, yeah. Next, I also had those bobbins with the white fibre with all the naps and colory bits and sparkles. I also caked that one up. Ta-da! Look at those sparkles. Yummy, yummy, yummy. See here the sari silk, and we have some wool naps, and of course all the sparkles. I love this so much. Look at this strike of mint, minty green. Oh, it's so pretty and sparkly. Ooh. Now I only need to ply it. I will get to that. Don't know when, but it will happen. And I will probably make some more of this. This was from Rolex that I made myself with all sorts of fibers. I don't even remember them all. There was polward, merino, silk, nylon, Rambouillet, sari silk, just regular wool naps, and Angelina. I think that's about it, but I may have forgotten something, but I will make more of this. I will. I'm pretty sure I will, because I want a sweater out of this. What can I say? It's too pretty not to have a sweater out of this. And since I blended it all together myself, and since I still have a lot of the fiber that I used, I can make more Rolex to spin more. And then I went on a plying kick. Where's my note with all my meters and stuff? So I finally got around to plying that little purple ball that was the very first fiber that came with the wheel, and that I used to actually test spin my little nano wheel. Here it is. Look, what a cutie. See how uneven it is up here? That was just because I was testing it. So I'm not sure what the fiber content is. I'm thinking merino. It felt like merino when I was spinning it, and it behaved like merino. I think it's merino. And it's 10.8 grams, so it's almost 11 grams, and it's 32 meters. DK-ish, I'm guessing. Yeah, this is probably around DK weight. So yeah, really happy that I finally did this. By the way, excuse my yellow nails. You might have seen them throughout the episode already, but I was making a curry last night, an Indian curry, and I had some fresh curcuma, so not the powder, well, also the powder, but like an actual chunk of curcuma. And curcuma just has a lot of color on it, so it dyed my nails yellow. So it's curcuma. It's not something gross, it's something delicious, but it won't go off. Like, so I have yellow nails now. Okay, so next, in the last episode had another cake of singles that needed plying, and so I did. Isn't this pretty? This is a 70% polward and 30% sparkling nylon that I dyed eons ago. And this was the second fiber that I spun to test my wheel. My nano, I got my nano for Christmas, if you didn't know that already. And so yeah, This was the second fibre I used to test out the wheel, and I absolutely love it. Look at all that sparkle. So this is a total of, where is it? This is 229 meters and it's 50 grams. So 229 meters, that's really nice. And this is sock yarn. This is a true fingering weight, and I'm going to use this to knit socks. And 229 meters is plenty for me. That's more than half a skein of regular sock yarn, and I don't even use half a skein for a pair of socks for me. So yeah, really happy with this one. Beautiful, pretty blue. Then we also had, I showed you a bobbin with pink fibre on it from Pixieyarn, and I decided, it was already plied, but I decided to take it off the bobbin finally. And this is it. So I chain plied it. And this is what I have. And I think it is really, really pretty. Now I did add a lot of ply twist, so it is over plied in places, so there is still quite some energy. As you can see here, the fiber is, the yarn is in some places quite energized. But that's alright. I overplied it because the singles were slightly underplied, and since this was going to be a sock yarn, I decided to add a little bit more ply twist just to make the fiber a bit more sturdy. And this came out as I used half of the braid to spin this. This is 53 grams, and I got 253 meters, so that would be around 500 meters in 100 grams. And at first I thought this was too fine, but now I don't think it's too fine. I think it really came out as a fingering weight yarn, because when I hold this, let me hold just a strand of regular fingering weight yarn next to it. Can you see how that is pretty much the same thickness? Let me move it around a little bit. See? I think this is just a lovely fingering weight. Perfect. Perfect for socks. So yeah, and also since this is what was it now, 253 meters, I can knit a pair of socks out of there. And it was a superwash merino nylon blend. Perfect, perfect. So as you can see, I'm stocking up on hand-spun sock yarns because I'm really on a sock yarn spinning kick, and I just feel like, I feel like spinning sock yarns. And since that's not normally something I feel like, I am just going with it because, you know, I can always use more hand-spun sock yarn. I love knitting socks, and hand-spun socks are the best socks. So I'm really happy that I'm on this, in this mode for sock spinning. So last week I showed you these two, the Christmas yarn and this Spin City UK yarn, and I was talking to you about how I thought they were lace weight. I was convinced they were lace weight because of the meters I got, and looking at them I thought they were lace weight. They are actually not. I was starting a new project right after I recorded, I think, and I was spinning for a sock yarn, and so I started spinning and then was like, yeah, you know what, I was spinning at the same thickness as I was for these, so I thought, well, I'm better just going to check my reps per inch with my reps per inch tool and see how thick I'm actually spinning. And then so I checked, and then I looked it up with a little bit of help of Google, and I calculated that I was spinning the exact right thickness of the singles to get a 2-ply fingering weight yarn. I was like, how is that even possible? Because I'm spinning the exact same thickness as I was spinning before, and those turned out to fine. So I went back to those skeins, to these two, and I thought, well, I'm just going to measure them. And they measure around, I think 22 is what it was. Don't remember exactly. I believe it was 22 reps per inch, which is fingering weight. So I was like, that's not possible. So I got some of my own sock yarn that I use for my shop. Well, every indie dyer has. And I did the same thing as I did with the pink yarn just now. And let me show you. See? That's the same thickness as the hand-spun. See that there? So this is a fingering weight. And the same goes for the purple. See? I don't know how well you can see it, but it is the same thickness. So I have two skeins of fingering weight sock yarns that I can just use for socks. Yay! They're not wasted lace weight something. And because of the yardage, like I got like 600 meters. Oh, 500 meters. Oh yeah, but it was 500 meters in just 86 grams. Anyway, I can knit 2.5 pairs out of this one. And I think 3 pairs out of this one. Yeah, this was 615 meters, so not complaining. I'm really happy that this is what happened. That I was just not judging the thickness right. So yeah, super excited about that. But like I said, it was because I was spinning something else that I got to the point that I needed to measure those. So I spun a gorgeous braid of Spin City fiber. I will put in a picture here. And it was a beautiful rainbow. And I had split it and randomly spun it just one after another, and then I 2-plied it. Yes, this was really fast, and this is what I got. Look at this. I did not keep the rainbows as they were. That was my plan from the beginning. I wanted a bright colored yarn, but I didn't want an actual rainbow yarn. So this is what it became, and it's beautiful. It's really, all the color combinations are in there. I love this yellow with pink here. Oh, that's not here. Well, there is somewhere. There is yellow with pink. Here is yellow with pink. Ah, I love that combination. It reminds me of ice cream. It's so pretty. I really, really love it. I really, really like how it turned out. And this was 440 meters in 90 grams. And this is also just fingering weight. Perfect sock yarn. And I cannot wait to cast these on. I'm so curious to see how these will knit up. I can't wait. And then I wasn't done with spinning. I told you I was spinning a lot. I had this project in my mind. There is this shawl by Fibre Hand-spun. It's a beautiful big shawl with in garter stitch with zigzag. What's it called now? Can't find a word. Anyway, it's a beautiful shawl and it's called Wishes Do Come Through. I will put in a picture right here. And that has been in my queue since the first time I saw it, which is years now, I think. And I had spun yarn for it earlier. It's made out of hand-spun yarn, hand-spun singles. And I had spun the yarn for it earlier. But when I held those together, I was like, well, I'm not sure. I don't think they work really well together. And it just didn't work out the way I wanted. So I didn't cast on the shawl. And so yeah, and I didn't have other yarn that I wanted to use. And now I finally spun the yarn for it from some fiber that I had. At first I spun this one. So these are hand-spun singles. This was a superwash merino nylon blend that I dyed a long time ago, before I had my shop, or well, before I started to sell fiber and yarn. And I really like it. I really like how it turned out. Let me open it up for you so you can see the gradient a bit better. Well, that's not helping, is it? But I have to say that I'm quite happy with how even I spun this. As you can see here, it's a bit fluffy. And that is because I decided to fold the fibers. So what that means is that you... Actually, it comes down to that you slightly felt the yarn. And the reason I did that is because, first of all, it's a singles yarn. Singles are just more delicate. And superwash merino is a short staple length fiber, so that's also delicate. And I spun it woolen style, which is also delicate. And so I combined all the non-sturdy factors and put them all together in one yarn. And although I really think I added more than enough twist, but I wanted to make sure that my yarn wasn't going to break when I'm knitting with it. And I want to have my shawl hold up a little bit longer. So what I did was I dropped this in just a regular, you know, cold water as I would normally soak my yarn. But then I filled a bucket with hot tap water and dish soap. So right from the cold tap water, I dropped it into the hot bucket with the soap and stirred it around a little bit, left it in there for 5 minutes. Then I filled up a bucket with very cold tap water without soap, and I just took it from the very hot water, squeezed it a little bit out, and then put it into the very cold water and stirred it around a bit. So I didn't do a lot, but that will just slightly felt the fibers. And each strand is really easily, I can get each strand individually, so they are not felted together or whatsoever. Just making the fiber a bit stronger. And the shawl is made out of 2 yarns, 2 single ply yarns. So I spun another one and did the same thing with the felting. And that's this one. Look how cool it is. There's a lot more pink in here than you can actually see. That's all hiding inside the skein. There's, look, see? There's a lot of pink in here as well. There's just as much pink as there is of this bright turquoise. And you can see it here a bit better. There's a lot of pink in there. This is a merino silk blend by my lovely friend Natalie, who is Wool Wisp on Instagram, and she used to dye a lot of fiber, and she has closed her shop, but she maybe in the future she will open it again. Not sure, who knows? But I am super happy with this. Was the colorway Festin, and I think these two together will make the most amazing shawl. So keep in mind that there's a lot more pink in here than is showing up. So this is my next project, and I cannot wait to cast these on. I was actually going to wind this into a cake right now, but then I thought, no, I have to show them on the podcast first. So now I can start winding this into cakes and cast on. Yes. Then, well, that was it for my finished spins, right? That was enough, right? It was a lot. Oh, by the way, one more thing about them. For the shawl, you need between 400 and 500 meters per skein of fingering weight. But since I spun these woolen style, both of them, I got more meters, and they are almost the same. Let me see. Yeah, this one is 598 meters, so almost 600 meters per 100 grams, and this one is 607 meters per 100 grams. So they are really close. In meterage, they differ only 15 meters per 100 grams. They are not exactly both 100 grams, but per 100 grams they only differ 15 meters. So that's very close. But I got around 600 meters, so I can make the shawl extra big. That's fine with me. I love a big shawl, so I'm just going to knit until they're done. They are true fingering weight, both of them. Happy. And then I have one project that is actually on the wheel at the moment that I've been working on, and that's this. Really happy spring colors with purple, pink, yellow and green, and this is the fiber. And this is my own hand dyed 70% super rich merino and 30% silk. And I had 2 braid of these in the shop earlier, but I had dyed more than 200 grams, and I decided to keep the leftover bit because this one had a lot less green in it. And now it seems like there's a lot of green, but the beginning of this bobbin really doesn't have a lot of green. You cannot see that, but there the green didn't penetrate through the fiber, and there was a lot of white where the green was supposed to be. Like, I got lots of this white, which I don't mind. I like it for myself, but I didn't want to sell it. See, that's almost white. Oh, this fiber is so soft. And this is also going to be a sockyarn. So really happy with it. And guys, that was it for today. I'm done. There was so much. So I went through all of it pretty quickly, but I knew I had to show so much that I can like go in depth about any of these things. I've put all of it on my Ravelry account, so if there's something specific you want to know about any of these things, you can find it there, or you can ask me in the comments below. Yeah, what else? Thanks for watching. So if you like this video, please let me know by writing something fun in the comments, or clicking the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, because I don't post my videos on a regular basis. So if you don't want to miss out on my next video, you can hit the subscribe button, and then YouTube will let you know on the sidebar when there's a new video out for me. On that note, I am going to say goodbye to you. I hope you have so much fun with all the crafts you do. Your knitting, your spinning, your crocheting, all the things. I don't know what you do, but let me know. I wish you a lot of fun with that. And until I see you again, have so much fun with everything you do. Bye!